The reality that no one likes to talk about is that there's a lot of work that is just work for the sake of work. Of course, that kind of depends depending on which department you work in. Engineering and more STEM field environments, you might see a little bit less of that. In marketing and sales, there's a lot of that. And what do I mean by work of this for the sake of work? So let me give you an example. There's investment banking jobs where you go in as an analyst, associate level person, and at that point in your career, what you're doing is you're making a lot of PowerPoint slides. Those PowerPoint slides are eventually shown by the VPs and the directors to their big shot customers that they want to impress. And those slides aren't tiny. Like, we're talking maybe 30, 40, 50 slide kind of decks. And the same thing goes with your big four consulting, actuarial kind of field. It's pretty similar to investment banking. So how many people think that these business deals that go on in the outside world is all about those decks that are 40, 50, 60 slides long versus the ability for them to impress that customer with all that wine and dining and all that small talk, bringing them to the golf course, telling them nice things, just being their buddy. Because the reality is, it's mostly about the latter. That's how a lot of business deals are closed. They're not closed because the person is super impressed with whatever the fuck you have to say in your presentation deck. I mean, that plays a small role, but the key thing for sales especially is that that person has to be likable. The person trying to sell you something, they have to be convincing in what they want to sell to you. But most importantly, they have to impress you as kind of like a friend of sorts who brings you out for a lot of free expensive dinners and events and games of golf. That's what it is about. So what happens with those 30, 40, 50 slide decks is that they might go over that deck, they might gloss over a few important slides and go through them with the customer. But for most part, all that effort is just wasted and they don't fucking care. Work is mostly about acting, and it's an abusive relationship because there's no real reason for you to have created so many slides in that deck when the people who are allegedly going to use it aren't really going to use it. I've had jobs. I've seen people with jobs. I've heard about people with jobs where they have done a lot of work. They've done this big project, and at the end of the big project, it all just gets dumped down the gutter. This very thing happened at the place that I worked in just not a few years ago. They had this big thing that they wanted to launch as part of the new direction and reorganization efforts that they had gone through. Therefore, now they're going to launch this next big thing that they're going to develop in the next 8 months, and they're going to launch it in the next calendar year. 8 months passed by, everyone was so hyped about it. They had a short launch presentation, launch party, whatever the fuck they want to call it, in December, just before Christmas, which is also the month where people are the most distracted because they're trying to wrap up the shit that they have to do before the end of the year. And when they're not doing that, they're thinking about the Christmas vacation, the New Year's vacation that they're about to take. So they launched that big project in the middle of the month that people pay the least attention to whatever it is that they're not focused on doing as part of their day-to-day job. And what happened in January, the next month after this whole project was completed and it was launched, they basically said, they being the upper management folks, basically said, fuck all of this, we're going this new direction. I shit you not. That was literally what happened. That has happened before. It has happened again. And it will continue to happen. Whether it's my job, your neighbor's job, whatever job, in white collar. But you must do all the things that they've told you to do, even though they're going to discard all of that in the garbage, most likely. It's a non-zero chance that they're going to do that by the end of the project and tell you, hey, here's this next big shiny thing that we need you to work on, and we need you to dedicate your full resources and return to office 5 days a week for, and put in lots and lots of overtime so that we can finish this project as soon as possible. And then with a non-0% chance, toss all of that effort down the fucking toilet again. You see why in previous videos, and I will continue doing this in the future, why I keep advocating, if you are stuck in a white collar employee job right now and you fucking hate your life, do something about it. And the something that you need to do about it isn't like what the rest of society usually will tell you, which is find a better job, find a nicer paying job, find a higher level job. You need to start thinking about shit that you can do that doesn't involve you working for someone else. Because as long as you're in that abusive relationship, nothing is gonna change. Think of changing companies as going from one abusive family to another abusive family. You know what I found out from my abusive mom and dad? The only way, there's going to be a lot of people who would suggest otherwise, the only real solution to escaping the torment of an abusive relationship, especially if they're abusive parents, is to get the fuck out. If you are sick of the employer-employee relationship, this doesn't take, it doesn't matter which companies you work in, employer-employee. You just need to check the fuck out of ever working for someone else. That's the real solution. And I hope that this video is useful for you, because there's not a lot of people who are going to tell you this. They're going to tell you all sorts of things, like I said. They're going to tell you to try to work on it, try to make things up with your boss, trying to improve the relationship with your boss, try to improve your relationship with your coworkers, go find a new job, go find a higher paying job, fuck those people. Fuck most of society's advice. Because you can check out this other video that I've also made. There's a lot of advice that society gives us that is completely counterproductive and doesn't fucking work. The only reason why people give that advice is because they've heard it from someone else. That's A. And B, they often want to seem like they're helping you. What kind of nasty person doesn't give some useful advice to these people? Let's sugarcoat it with a bunch of BS and then ship it to you, because the main reason why we're giving you this advice isn't to actually help you. It's to make you believe in us like we're the nicest person ever. I'm the nicest friend. I'm the nicest family member. That's why I'm telling you all this. I'm not going to tell you the truth, the cold, hard, brutal truth, and make you feel bad. I want to make you feel good, so you keep being my friend and you're my family. This is just the tip of the iceberg. And we'll explore this in more detail with other examples in the near future. But as of now, I hope you learned something. See you all in the next video. Goodbye.